Alright, what is up, guys? I've been talking the ears off of my friends in my local Yu-Gi-Oh community about this pet project that I've been working on for over a year now. So, I've been designing a couple of cube formats, and unlike other card games, Yu-Gi-Oh is not really known for sealed draft or limited play, and I think there is a lot of potential in there because there are a lot of pack filler cards that are extremely interesting or extremely good, but would never see play because Yu-Gi-Oh only has really the one format that Konami will bother recognizing, and so a lot of the lower power strategies and pack filler just never gets played. And so, because I have a large collection with a lot of bulk, I'm very curious about a lot of these cards and want to try giving them homes. So, I've developed a couple of cube formats. I have one that was a Warrior Cube based on some of the cubes that I saw on the YGO Pro website. There was famously the Hard Leg video where he's doing the Master Cube series, and it's the Heart of the Warrior Cube where it is all warrior type monsters and spells and traps that do nothing but change battle positions and modify attack and defense. And so it's a like fully battle phase based cube, and I thought that was really interesting. And then I had this idea for a Paleozoic based cube that was inspired by a couple of things. So it was inspired by the Joshua Schmidt Paleo deck from Master Duel, and was inspired by, again, Hardleg's Ladder Climb, featuring the Paleo deck and all the different iterations and little cards, little synergies that go with that. Post the release of Transaction Rollback, which we'll talk about, and also MBT and SEMO did the Dungeon Duel Masters series. Shout outs to the creators of Dungeon Duel Masters. It's a really cool project where there is a paleo draft in that features really low power monsters with interesting little incidental synergies and really crazy powerful back row. And I just thought that between those two projects, there is so much unexplored potential in this game in terms of like fun and interesting interactions that we just don't get to see because the design space around traps, especially in the game, is largely eclipsed by the power level of the game. Most decks for years now have been monster centric and don't have a whole lot of room to play traps because they're just too slow. Traps have to do absolutely ridiculously overpowered things or be playable from the hand to even be considered in most decks nowadays, aside from some dedicated trap-based decks like Labyrinth. And so the design space around these lower power traps or traps that have interesting effects that can be copied by transactional rollback, I just thought was incredibly interesting. And so I combined a lot of that stuff into this cube. So compared to the other cube that I've made, this one is a lot more mechanically complex and a lot more skill testing compared to the other one. So I kind of gradually moved my player base towards this one over a period of time. There are some people in my friend group that are learning the game from me, and not to toot my own horn or anything, but it's been a pretty positive experience for the most part because I know how to gradually drip feed the mechanics of the game to them, make it comprehensible and understandable, and not overwhelm them with a lot of jargon or a lot of like competitive naturedness. And so everybody's generally had a pretty good time. But I wanted to make sure that they wouldn't be alienated by some of the weird interactions with this, like how paleos chain to each other, or what happens when a trap that summons itself as a monster gets flipped face down and crazy stuff like that. So this was definitely a lot more of an advanced mechanical thing, but it was still a very, laid back experience because this is just me playing with my friends at home. This is not anything designed for a tournament or anything like that. It is very low stakes, very casual environment, but was extremely fun nonetheless. So here's the design sensibilities that I went for. So there are basically three individual kinds of strategies that you can build from in the cube. There is a level 2 Axis build that revolves around a lot of level 2 monsters, frogs, sprites, lots of generic 2s, and then there is a milling strategy, which revolves around Tearlaments and Light Sworns and other cards that mill. This ties into the traps like the Paleos, because the Paleos activate from grave. There are lots of traps that have graveyard effects like Breakthrough Skill, Rise to Full Height, and etc. And then the transaction rollback. So you want to be milling because you want to get those traps in the grave that have graveyard effects, and so the milling strategies like Lightsworn and Tear Limit naturally synergize with that. And the Paleos also synergize with the level 2 strategy because they're level 2s, so you can make rank 2 Xyz with the Paleos, including Totally Awesome, which is in here, as much of a mistake as that might have been. And the third one is a Fiend Pile. So very similarly to, if you guys know Master Duel NR format, there's a like sort of generic Fiend Pile deck, and there's a lot of really cool cards in that design space, and I really enjoy what people have done with that. So what I decided to do here is, for the previous cube, the Warrior Cube, every player would start out with a Rhoda. That was their one card they would start with. Everybody gets a free Rhoda, and then everybody builds from there. Pretty self-explanatory. With this cube, I decided that everyone would start with a Dynamicious, so they get one Paleo, obviously, but then they would also get one starter, similar to Pokemon. They would get one monster starter to sort of help them guide their deck building as they go through the cube. They don't know what to expect, only they know that these monsters are going to synergize with what they're going to see in the cube, right? So you can pick a Swap Frog, a Murley, or a Tour Guide as one of your 3 starters. And then this was how we did the cube the first time we played it. We played with 4 players. And then over this past weekend, we played it again with 6 players, and I decided to go hard mode, or advanced mode, I guess I should say, and also give everyone an additional a free copy of Transaction Rollback. So everyone, we did 6 players, everybody got a Dynamicious, a starter, and then 1 copy of Transaction Rollback to start their draft from. And this is what they were starting with, everybody. So this was really, really cool. Had a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and go through the cards that are in the cube. Again, this is something that I built in person in paper, and I have also built this on YGOProDeck.com. So in theory, I could play it with some folks online, which I do plan on doing soon. But this would be easier to do in an online draft situation. If you guys are interested in doing that, again, it is on there. I think anybody can find it. I'm not entirely sure. But the finite number of cards in the cube does limit how fulfilled your strategy can become. And the more players in the cube, the less likely it is for you to get what you want. So, and that's just the nature of limited. That's part of the appeal of limited. So we'll kind of go through some of the cards here. So for the level 2 strategy, of course, we've got Frog, Swap Frog, Dupe Frog. I've also got Unifrog in there, which does come up. We've got Hyperia, popular card and sprite, lets you draw a card and summon, and is an Earth, which will come up later. We've got sprites, we've got Red, we've got Carrot, and we've got 1 Pixies and 1 Jet. I probably need more copies of those. In my first time playing this, I started with Swap Frog, and I did build around level 2, so I did have sprites in there. But the second time, I wanted to go for Tour Guide, but I ended up going for the Swap Frog to make the tournament more balanced. And I noticed that there was a lack of a critical mass of sprite names in there, so which is probably for the best because they do have some really powerful effects. But I probably could use a few more copies of Pixies and Jet in there for sure. We've got Nimble Beaver and Nimble Angler. I definitely need more copies of Nimble Beaver because with only 3, that means it's pretty unlikely for any more than 1 player to have 2 copies. And 2 is what you need to get a really powerful activation of Angler. So the first time through the cube, I only had 1 Beaver, which means I only got the 1 summon off of Angler. And then the second time, I did get 2 Beavers, but Michelle only got 1. So she was only able to summon the 1 off of Angler. Hidden Gem of the Seafront. So this is one of the cards that became a meme in this format. So this guy is very popular in the specific format of Power of the Elements Sealed, but is really good in this. So he can be discarded to get you an additional normal summon of a water or an earth. So he synergizes well with Hyperia, with the frogs, and with the Melfies. And he also has an effect where he can revive himself out of the graveyard if you control both a water and an earth. And we misplayed this in the first time we played the cube and thought he could be summoned if you controlled one or the other, and it's actually both, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we still managed to take advantage of that because you'd be surprised how easy it is, like I said, if you control like a frog and a Melfie or a nimble monster and a Melfie to get this guy back out of the graveyard and then extend from where rank 2 plays. So quite good. We've got Soul Scissors, which is another incredibly powerful level 2 monster. If a card is destroyed, he can summon himself back out of the graveyard and pop a card, and is level 2. So incredibly powerful utility card there. Got a couple copies of those. Got some of the Melfies. I should ideally have more copies of Caddy and more copies of Penny and maybe Puppy as well, but I did not find that many. But I was debating either going harder into the Melfi angle or taking some of these out. But I'm not quite sure how I want to go with that yet. I think I want to actually add more. The Wally is insanely powerful. Again, Caddy and Penny are insanely powerful, but the Fenny and the Pony just don't feel as useful without them. And I had Kalantosa in here and drafted that this go around by mistake, and then realized that the card that actually enables Kalantosa is not in here, which is Puppy. So that's kind of a shame. And I took Kalantosa out. I got Penguin Soldier. It is a nice removal card that also synergizes with the level 2 stuff, and it's also an Aqua, so you know what that means. Cap Shell is a nice little level 2 guy. Laundry Dragon Maid. This is a card that was popular in the Joshua Schmidt Paleo Master Duel deck. Experimented with this one, only played one copy. It did see play in the cube. It lets you mill cards on summon. So again, it's a water, it's a level 2, it mills stuff, it fits it right in. Skullingle, Mask of Darkness, Spear Cretin. Shoutouts to German Spear Cretin, Spear Idiot. I definitely need a copy of that card. And that's it for the level 2 stuff, although there is some crossover synergies in there that I'll talk about. So we've got Tour Guide. This is the Fiend stuff. We've got Tour Guides. We've got Sangan, of course, for Tour Guide. We've got Phoenix Rhino Warrior. Probably should have more copies of that in there. Lilith, Lady of Lament. Great card for this format because it's a Tour Guide target, but it also lets you set up traps from your deck. So getting able to get multiple traps out of your deck is really powerful for the kinds of strategies we're going here. We've got Loris. We've got Curry Bandit, another insanely useful card in this format, being able to mill a bunch of cards and add a spell or a trap, fits right in. Dark Resonator is just a level 3 that can't be destroyed by battle. The only synchro in the extra deck stuff is Merry Melfi's. That's it, so we can't use him to tune with. We've got Doom Caliber Knight. Edgem Sabers, nice extender out of the graveyard. If you mill it, that goes into some of the rank 3 stuff like Dante and Tour Guide, and is also useful for the mill strategy because he does something in the graveyard. We do have the one hand trap in Skullmeister. So this is a really interesting little synergy. So we've got Evil Hero Infernal Prodigy, which is a free summon from hand. He's like a Cyber Dragon, and he's a level 2. So you can get a level 2 body on the field without using your normal summon. He's also a Fiend. So he is that perfect bridge between the level 2 Axis strategy and the Fiend strategy. And there's also a payoff for him in Evil Hero Malicious Edge. Having a big monster that does piercing is really powerful in this format, and being able to summon this guy basically for free and draw a card feels really, really powerful. Nobody went for that this past go-around, but in theory this is insane. Votus is a really cool Fiend because he lets you go through your deck for traps, which is really good. He lets you theoretically add traps off the top of your deck. I think you mill 3 and add a trap or something like that, as long as you have two different copies of the same name. Diabound Colonel. So this was something I took from the Dungeon Duel Masters thing. This card is insane in a format like this. Doing a tribute for an 1800 body feels really bad, but the fact that he can dodge a lot of removal, including a lot of the battle tricks, is huge. This card won me 2 games on its own last night, so I think this card is extremely interesting. It's way below the power level of anything we would see played today, but I think that it is just awesome in this format, and I think that I put as many copies of it in there as I could so that everybody could have at least one, and it definitely came up and saw a lot of play. The first time we did this, I had some really powerful Labyrinth cards in there just as like a funny haha to see if anybody would pull them. Somebody did pull them. It was a huge mistake, but I did leave some of the Labyrinth Servants in there. And then Labyrinth Archfiend is another build around in this format. So if you're doing the Fiend pile, Labyrinth Archfiend is crazy because, again, it can search a normal battle trick from the deck. It helps you as a summon from hand effect when you activate a normal trap. Even when your opponent activates a normal trap. So it is basically the beater, the powerhouse in this cube, and is basically what the Fiend pile centralizes around. So once again, I put a lot of copies of that in there. Pretty much any one of the decks you can build can theoretically play that, but it is the payoff the boss monster for the Fiend strategy, in my opinion, and it synergizes with all the trap-based stuff we're already trying to do. Jurigato, again, really awesome Fiend monster that is a really cool battle trick. Being able to summon itself out from hand in the damage step like that is really cool. Night Assailant lets you pop cards, but is also a tour guide target. Limit of the Dark Spirit lets you banish a dark to summon itself from hand. Stygian Street Patrol. I probably want more copies of this. I've got plenty in there. This card was pretty crazy. The guy that drafted this, I only put one in here, but the guy that drafted this did really well. Diabolica, really powerful Fiend monster. I really want more copies of this guy, Dark Eye Nightmare. So this guy has a really interesting trap-based effect, and I definitely want to have more copies of him in here. He's also got a decent stat line. Most of the monsters in here are pretty low power, including the Paleos. Like, a lot of times they're using the Paleos as beaters, even though they only have like 1200 attack. I think the Fiend part of this cube needs the most refinement. There's a lot of cards that are just like interesting low power Fiends that don't necessarily have specific synergies with the cube as a whole, so I'd like to kind of refine that, but this is one of the ones I like a lot. Would actually like to add more copies of that in there. We've got this guy who's basically an 1800 beater, really interesting monster that would never see play otherwise. You got a Snipe Hunter, because that's kind of a staple Fiend, might take him out. Who remembers this guy? This guy he's basically a Monarch, but he was part of the, he was the sneak preview card they would give you for Chaos Impact, if you remember correctly. And then we have Absolute King Backjack, which is a staple of the Paleo Cube thing. I actually think that this might be a card that would be worth giving everybody one copy of at the start. Like I mentioned, and this kind of bridges the gap between like the Fiend stuff and the Mill strategy, because this guy has the really powerful effect that synergizes with all of the normal trap stuff and with the Paleo stuff. Very famously played in the constructed Paleo deck on Master Duel, or in the TCG, whatever. The reason why that Master Duel deck doesn't see a lot of play in the TCG is purely the time rules. There's no way you can be going into time in Game 3 and activating transaction rollback. It's just not going to happen. Anyway, onto the Mill strategy. We've got, again, Tearlaments Merly. Really, really good. Mills on summon and is level 2, so it synergizes with that other strategy. Havinous, which can quick effect summon itself out of your hand on your opponent's turn, is a level 3 for the Fiend strategies, if you wanted to go for that. We got some Lightsworn stuff. We've got the new guy, Weiss, who is a level 4 that can summon itself. We've got Wolf, which you don't want to... Hopefully he'll be milling these with good luck. Lila for some backer removal, which comes up a lot. So even if you're not playing like the Mill strategy or playing a lot of Lightsworns, you may take one of these just because it's backer removal on a body. So that seems pretty good. Lumina, Raikou, of course. Raikou is also a level 2, so it does come up. So there's also, like, I think one Mega Hamster in here, or maybe more than one Mega Hamster. So Mega Hamster synergizes with both Raikou, obviously per Edison format, but also some of the other nimble monsters in there. So I think Mega Hamster is kind of cool in this design space. We've got Felis, Gareth, Jane. Card Trooper is another one. We're getting into generics now, sort of, and Card Trooper is one I feel like it makes sense to have a lot more copies of in there, because it's just a generic that mills on summon. I might even consider playing this in the level 2 deck because it's an Earth to enable the Hidden Gem of the Seafront. But just being able to normal this guy, mill 3, mill proactively is pretty good. So I only have one in here. I would definitely consider putting a lot more in there, but most of my Card Troopers are in my Edison box. Reborn Tengu. Reborn Tengu saw play in the Dungeon Duel Masters Paleo thing, which I thought was cool. Problem with this in a cube is nobody wants to take the Tengu because they're afraid of not seeing the second Tengu. And so what I actually did to counterbalance this is I let everybody trade at the end of their drafts, like trade amongst their extra cards, because when it was 4 players, everybody drafted 35 monsters and 35 back row and 17 extra deck cards. When it was 6 players, everybody drafted 30 monsters, 30 spells and traps, and 11 back row, or I'm sorry, 11 extra deck, which is not a lot, but you still have plenty of leftover cards if you're going to make a 40 card deck out of those. So there was plenty we could put back. So I let people trade amongst those leftover cards to try to get their strategies back in order. And that actually came up a lot because Michelle ended up getting a Sprite Sprint out of that deal, which I thought was really cool. But what ended up actually happening is because there's plenty of Tengus in here. There's 6 Tengus, so at least 3 players can potentially have 2 Tengus. I was passing them up so that, I didn't have to worry about getting the second one. It also didn't really go with my strategy. But Sam ended up with 3 copies of Tengu. So I think that actually worked out pretty well. Another card that's kind of based on you getting another specific card from the cube is the hands. So we've got Fire, Ice, and Thunder Hand, which are in theory pretty powerful. They're just generics that I think fit the power level of this cube perfectly. But again, you would have to see multiple of them over the course of the cube, so hopefully somebody's intentionally passing them up because they don't want them. This guy, Ghost Lancer of the Underworld, is very powerful generic. I like this guy a lot. I think he's really fun to have in here. We've got Gravekeeper Spy, another one that requires you to pull multiple of them. I might take this out because only having 3 copies of it in here means that, again, somebody's got to pull at least 2, but I did want some generic level 4s in here that did something. Nightmare Penguin, same thing. It's a level 4 that is technically removal, so I felt like it fit the design space and the power level is pretty well. I've got some Recruiters, Mystic Tomato for the dark monsters in the Fiend strategy, and Mother Grizzly for potentially some of the water monsters in here or even itself. Hydrogeddon, again, theoretically a really good monster in a format like this, but it does require you to draft multiple copies of them, so I might end up taking it out. I think people are kind of afraid to go into this one. It's also like way worse than Tengu, right? Because Tengu, even if you like Compulse it summons the other one, but with Hydrogeddon you specifically have to attack with it in order to get the second copy out, and it has less attack than Tengu, so people might be apprehensive to take that one. We got the Mega Hamsters. We've got a Zephyros, which seems like a really good pick in this format because of the milling, and Electromagnetic Turtle, which is good for milling, and then this guy literally just put in here because he kind of looks like a paleo, and he's very, very simple back row removal. He's like a way, way, way worse Lila, so kind of does synergize with the format as well. So overall, I really like the monsters a lot. I think that if I want to refine anything, I will refine the Fiend part of it and maybe some of the generics. But I think in terms of the level 2 access stuff and the mill stuff, I'm quite happy with that. All right, on to the spells. So there's very, very few spells in this. I did not want a heavy reliance on spells. We are doing a grind game with recursive monsters and powerful traps, right? But I did want back row removal. I did want to punish players for like setting 5 or whatever. So we are playing plenty of removal. The spells in here are mostly pretty generic with a few exceptions, and I am open to suggestions for spells you guys think would go good in this cube. I want spells that specifically synergize with a lot of the milling stuff, or spells that have graveyard effects. So the poster child for the spells in this format I feel like is Galaxy Cyclone, because it's back row removal and it has a graveyard effect, so if you mill it, it does come up. I think that is pretty good, so we're on Galaxy Cyclone. Back to square one is monster removal. We've got Dark Hole. I'm not afraid to put really powerful monster removal in there, because again, the monsters are not really the powerful thing in this format. MST for back row. Offerings to the Doom is monster removal. Night Beam is back row removal. Now this one's probably one of the more powerful ones because you can't chain to it. So if your opponent has like one back row and you have a monster combo that you can push for a lot of damage, this pretty much guarantees you can do that. I didn't see anybody actually play this though, so this did not come up last night. It might have come up in the previous time we drafted this, but it did not come up last night. But in theory, Night Beam is pretty powerful. Monster Reborn, somebody, I think it was Kat, in the first time we did this, she drafted 2 of the Monster Reborns, which is insane. Shield Crush is more monster removal. Soul Taker is monster removal. Tribute to the Doom is monster removal. Twin Twisters is more powerful back row removal. This I put in as a little funny haha. Wetlands for the frogs. I drafted it both times. It did come up. It got my Swap Frog to 2200, so I think that's pretty cool. Objectively a bad card. It does nothing on its own. Very, very funny though. One Book of Moon. I love Book of Moon, and I would love to have more copies of it in here, but I was just a little bit afraid to see how it would play in this, because I was worried about flipping down Paleos that have been activated as that have been summoned as monsters on the field. So we'll see if I want to add more of that to the cube. Final Bringer of the End Times is a funny pack filler super rare removal card. Very similar to offerings to the Doomed. It is a quick play. In theory, if I had a critical mass of these, I would love to play this because I feel like this is right on par with the power level of this format. No Element of Extermination is more backer removal. So I was testing Reasoning, and this, in theory, again, is an extremely powerful card in the mill strategy for this because you're playing cards like Backjack and you're playing maybe level 4s, level 3s, etc. So it's not guaranteed to hit, but the more of your spells and traps you can, particularly traps, you can mill off of this before you hit a monster, the better. So this card is, in theory, really, really powerful. I didn't see anybody play it, though, so we'll see if I want to bump up the copies of this to where it's much easier for people to have access to, or if I want to just take it out altogether. And then Sprite Smashers for that strategy. I am hesitant to put a lot of like named archetypal spells and traps in this format, but I do have several, including Smashers for Sprite. I feel like Gamma Burst and Starter are way, 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 way too powerful. You'll also notice there was no Sprite Blue for the same reason. Now onto the traps. Now this, to me, is the important part. This is where it gets really, really good. So this is the core of the cube. So when we were drafting this, my friend Aiden that was there with me this most recent time, we drafted like the 7 cards off the top to pass around the table. He looked at his first 7 and like his eyes just widened. He was like, whoa, you're kidding me. You can't put this in here, kind of thing. Of like, the traps are insane compared to the power level of some of the other stuff in here. So obviously we got Paleos. The starters, the Dynamicious and the 3 monsters, are all inside of the cube as well. So you can draft additional copies, or you can pivot from one starter to another if you choose to. So I wanted as many, critical mass of as many Paleo names as possible. So we've got plenty of Dynamicious, in fact. And the only thing that's not in the cube is rollback. So by default, everybody gets 1 rollback, and I did not put the additional copies in here. I might consider doing that, but I feel like somebody having multiple copies of rollback is potentially a really bad idea. Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch is huge for the Fiend strategy. Breakthrough skill is really powerful both on field, and it has the graveyard effect, so we got a critical mass of those. The graveyard effect of this came up a lot. It's one of those traps that's great to mill because it has a graveyard effect. Fair Welcome Labyrinth is a battle trick that you can set off of Labyrinth Archfiend. When you wanted to make sure that Labyrinth Archfiend was likely to go off if you drafted it, so you had to make sure you drafted both Labyrinth Archfiend and a battle trick. Paleozoic Canadia. We've got Paleozoic Pikaia, which I did not like. I did not ever have a situation where I could discard a Paleo and draw 2. I didn't think that was that good, but it is another name if you mill it. It's active in the graveyard for obvious reasons. Zone with a Spirit is a trap monster that's a level 4, so he has really fun effect, and I think is like super versatile, really good in this format. And you can make Time Thief Redoer with this guy, which is crazy. Compulse, I actually drafted 2 Compulse last night, and it's, again, quite good in this format. Heavy Storm Duster is really good, especially to activate on your opponent's turn. I actually copied the effect of Storm Duster with rollback at one point when my opponent had exactly 2 back row set. We've got Paleozoic Eldonia, again, not one of the better ones, but it has a fun... it does have a, it's one of the names, so it can be summoned out of the graveyard under the normal Paleo stuff. Leoncolia, Oleanoids, which is one of the better ones, of course. We've got Power Wall, which I think is an extremely interesting battle trick. So this one basically negates an attack. If you would take damage from an attack, you no longer take the damage, and you mill cards for every 500 damage you would have taken. I did pick this time, and I did play it. I think this card is perfect for this cube. It epitomizes exactly what I'm looking for. It's a battle trick, and it lets you mill more cards. So I don't remember if I milled anything good off of this when I activated it, but it's pretty good. We've got Dust Tornado, generic backer removal. It's a normal trap. We've got Lost Wind, which has a graveyard effect. So Lost Wind is another staple of this, much like Breakthrough Skill. Needlebug Nest. I wanted as many copies of this in the cube as possible. I would go with more. I only found these 4, I believe, but I want as many copies of this in the cube as humanly possible. Again, I think that epitomizes everything. It's a normal trap. It triggers Labyrinth Archfiend. It mills 5. It mills Paleos. A Paleo can be chained to it. Like it's perfect. It's everything I want. More traps. We've got Raigeki Break. We've got Rise to Full Height. Very powerful, interesting card in this cube. The graveyard effect to banish to where your opponent can only attack one monster. So if they clear the monster that you designate off of this, they can't then further attack you directly, because the phrasing of this card is they can only attack that monster that turn. So it saves you from getting killed if they clear that monster. Very, very interesting, powerful card. One of the ones you want to mill for sure. Terrors of the Overroot is a really interesting utility trap. We've got Torrential. Torrential seems really, really powerful in this. I think it only came up one time. I did not draft it this time around. I actually passed it up for Compulse because I thought Compulse would be a little bit more versatile. Zone of the Earthbound Spirit. Now, this one may have been a little bit too powerful. Seems crazy. I don't know if I will keep that one in there. It was really cool. This Dark Sacrifice is pretty cool for the Fiend strategy. We've got some continuous traps, not many. Most of the traps I wanted to be normal traps. We've got Fiendish Chain. Fiend Griefing is really good for the Fiend strategy. Of course, lets you mill Fiends. We've got Jar of Greed. Jelly Cannon is a really fun battle trick. Again, normal trap, settable from Labyrinth Archfiend. Fits the design space of this cube perfectly. It is too weak of a modern card for this card to have ever seen play. But if this card was released in, like, again, 2010, 2011, this card would go crazy. But it's perfect for this. It's absolutely perfect. Like I said, we do have some archetypal spells and traps. We've got the Melfi Playhouse, which you can search off of one of the Melfi cards, and is pretty powerful in that strategy. I did convert a Mary Melfi's into Melfi Mommy with its effect, in which case this card would have come up, but I did not end up playing this. I didn't have much of a choice in terms of my extra deck, so I did have 2 Melfi Mommies, which I'll talk about when we get to the deck lists. But Phoenix May Windblast, great card in this format. We've got some of the Tearlament's traps. We've got Tearlament's Crime. Threatening Roar was pretty good, and again, normal trap, saves you a turn, triggers Paleos. I had Quentin copy this off of Rollback to save himself an additional turn at one point. Wiretap, I feel like, is a great card to stop some of the incredibly powerful traps in this format. Lightsworn Aegis for that deck. Michizure is you can actually, this is actually not a bad rollback target either, and you can, it doesn't necessarily matter. So, like, this is sort of like a pseudo battle trick, like a worse battle trick, but you can actually send a different monster than the one that battled if that ever comes up. Paleozoic Morella, I wish I had way more copies of this. I only have the 2 to put in here. I feel like this is one that is so quintessential to the design of this cube that I wish that every single player had one. I really regret only having the 2. I just need to get more copies of it to put in here. Metanoise, Soliak, Tiki Soul is another trap monster. Trap Trick, I feel like, is potentially really good for a deck playing a heavy quantity of normal traps. Trap Stun. Apophis the Swamp Deity, I was a little bit afraid of this one as well, but again, it's another trap monster. I think I'd rather just play the original embodiment of Apophis over this, because he's not quite as powerful. And it's another level 4 guy that can be made into Time Thief or Doer. Legacy of Yatagarasu is just another copy of Jar of Greed. Metal Reflexime is another trap monster, and then we've got only one of the Hallucigenica. Again, I wanted as many paleo names as possible, but that's what we had. So that is it for the traps and what is, in my opinion, the most important design space in this cube. Now, finally moving on to the extra deck stuff. So most of what we have in here is Link 2s, Rank 2s, and there's some Rank 3s and Rank 4s, and again, the one Synchro, the Mary Melfi. So Link 2s, we've got the Paleozoic Cambrocaster. Nightmare Cerberus, I don't feel like was too overpowered for this. Nightmare Phoenix as well. Pit Knight Early and Pit Knight Philly, I feel like fit the design sense of this cube perfectly. I feel like everybody should get a copy of this as part of their, especially for the level 2 strategy. Crazy card Beat Cop for the Fiend deck. A Starboy to boost the attack of water monsters if you're on the frogs and stuff. There's Pit Knight Philly. Two Sprite Sprint, very good for milling specific cards and for the level 2 strategies. So definitely wanted to make sure that you drafted one of these if you're on the sprites and the frogs and everything. So I had one and Michelle had one with our games last night. Cherubini was debating either adding more copies of this to it or taking this one out. I wasn't sure if this was going to be too powerful, so it was kind of a wait and see type of situation. And ended up being fine, but I think that more people on the Fiend pile would like more copies of this. You know, sending from deck to grave is the bread and butter of this format. Juno Transverser is a very funny haha card. Thinking about adding more copies of this to this, and I was like, at some point, Juno Transverser is going to decide a game. Someone is going to win off of this card, and someone is going to lose by not knowing that they needed to play around it. And it did happen. It finally happened last night where Aiden won off of this card, and he flat out said, he's like, if I did not have this in my extra deck, I would not have been able to get out of that situation. So I knew it was going to happen eventually. Mrs. Radiant boosts the attack of Earth monsters, goes with the strategy. The only Link 3 is One Nightmare Unicorn. Thinking about maybe playing more of this. It's not actually that overpowered. I think it's perfectly fine in terms of the amount of monster and investment you'd have to put in to get to this guy. So I think that's perfectly fine. That's it for all the Link monsters. Onto the Xyz monsters. Of course, we've got Anomalocaris and Opabenia. I wish I had more copies of each. I unfortunately only have 2 of each. I wanted, again, everybody should have these. I got Opabenia this time, and I don't think I actually summoned it all last night, though, because I didn't have a critical mass of Paleo names in my hand to where that hand activation would be necessary. But in theory, it's really, really crazy. I did put Toad in here. Some people might think that's a mistake. I think it's fine, actually. It's pretty hard to get to Toad, and I think that if you can bait out the negate with your 1-to-1 or 1-for-1 spot removal, like your Offerings to the Doomed or your Darkhold or whatever, force the negate out, and then you can continue to play through it. So it is extremely powerful, don't get me wrong. It's even more powerful with more frogs in your deck, don't get me wrong. But I think it was fine. Nobody really complained. It did not win games entirely on its own. I think it was completely fine for the power level of this format. Melfi the Forest, extremely good generic rank 2, because it can add the Melfi Caddy to hand, and you have a whole combo with more disruption on your turn. I think it's awesome in this. Sky Cavalry Centauria is also very, very, very powerful on this. Just the rank 2 design space in the game is just incredible, and I just love it to death. So Sky Cavalry is one of the best removal rank 2s in here. He also has a decent attack stat for this power level of this format at 2000. So this guy was very, very hard to get rid of. I had to hold a lot of my Dinomishus to get rid of this guy a couple times. Ninja Shadow Mosquito. I think this guy, I did draft this guy this time, and he did kind of win me a game. Super annoying card to deal with. Also, definitely what you're going to want to hit with spot removal. Gin Buster, also extremely powerful. I drafted him the first time I played this. Did not draft him this most recent time, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens when you do a cube. Onibaro Soul Sweeper, another great rank 2. Cursed Javelin, really good rank 2. Lets you put a guy to 0 and beat over him. That's how I got over a lot of the bigger monsters and pushed damage per game, especially if your opponent has halved their life with rollback, then they're at a really, really low life, and that 1600 matters a lot at that point. Ghost Rick So Cute Boss is removal. Melfi Mommy seemed... there's probably too many copies of it, if I'm being honest, because the main deck Melfis are not really there, so I probably will cut this down on a closer examination. But this did come up because, like I said, I was able to pivot from the Mary Melfis into that with Mary Melfi's other effect. Mannequin Cat was crazy. Again, the 2000 attack stat line matters a lot. That's actually pretty high for this format. Cat Shark didn't come up this most recent time, but I think someone has activated it before. Oh, whoops, there's not a Mannequin Cat that got away. Herald of Pure Light, I haven't seen anybody summon this yet, but it seems like it fits right into the design space in here. Crumble Logos, this guy is pretty cool. I wish I had a lot more copies of him for this. Pretty decent rank 2. He's got 2200. He's technically a negate, just a really bad one. I would love to see more copies of this guy in here if I had them. Gachi, and that's it for the rank 2s. On the rank 3s, we've got Dante, several copies of Dante. Again, tour guide for Dante mill cards. literally what you want to be doing. You want to be milling those traps that have those graveyard effects. You want to mill those paleos, mill those rollbacks, etc. Leviair makes sense for a rank 3 strategy. Gossip Shadow, I almost regretted putting this guy in here, but his effect has yet to come up. I don't think I've seen anybody actually make this guy yet, so I'm debating whether or not he is appropriate for the power level of this. I'm thinking he might actually be too good for this, but so far he's been largely unexplored in the format. Breaksword seems like a perfectly fine card to have in there. Same with Fortune Tune and Giga Brilliant. And then on to the rank 4s, we've got the Grenosaurus Giga Cannon, which is a nice generic that came out in Duelist Nexus that I appreciate. We've got Minerva for the mill strategy for the Lightsworns. Again, you are playing a much more powerful version of Lightsworn that you would have access to in like Edison minus Judgment Dragon. And so Minerva really helps facilitate that. And then my favorite rank 4 in the entire game, Time Thief Redoer, which I did not want to put too many copies in here because he's busted in this format. Taking a trap off your top of your opponent's deck with this is insane. Sam said he actually took his opponent's rollback off the top of their deck with this, which is just incredible. And then making him with the trap monsters like Zoma the Spirit is really cool as well. I drafted him the first time I played this, but not the second time. And then, of course, the Merry Melfies, like I mentioned. That is it for the cards that are in the cube. And now let's talk about everybody's deck list, what they were able to make. All right, so the first time we fired this, we did it with only 4 people. So each player was able to draft more cards. And because the cube was spread less thin between more players, everybody was able to get more of what they wanted, I feel like. But that's just the beauty of limited play. So this was my deck. I was very, very happy with this. It was very, very strong. I had 3 Swap Frogs, I had Dupe Frogs, I had 1 Nimble Beaver, unfortunately, so the Angler was not as powerful. I had every sprite name. I had Merly, I had Hidden Gem of the Seafront, Soul Scissors. I even had Labyrinth Archfiend. Now, in the first iteration of this, I did have some of the Ishizu Shufflers in there, but decided to take them out afterwards because they are very, very powerful, and I feel like it would be a little bit alienating to people that didn't play the Tier 0 Ishizu tier format and didn't really know how they work. On the spells, I did play the Wetlands. I had MST in this, which I was pretty happy with. I got Sprite Smashers. Not a whole lot of Paleos. I did have a decent variety of Paleo names, but only had 1 Dynamicious, which I got way more copies of Dynamicious. My next deck, I believe, the next time we did this. 2 Windblast, 2 Zoma the Spirit for trying to make Time Thief Redoer. I did have Powerwall, Rise to Full Height, Breakthrough Skill for their graveyard effects, and then just some generic traps with 1 Battle Trap Payoff for Labyrinth Archfiend. And then the extra deck I literally could not have been happier with. The Pit Knight Early and Pit Knight Philly are amazing in this format. Sprite Sprint helps set up the Nimble lines. Opabinya is an extremely powerful enabler for the Paleos. Activate them in hand. Onibaro Soul Sweeper, Toad, Gin Buster, Sky Cavalry, Time Thief Redoer. Insanely powerful deck. Very, very happy with it. This was Kat's deck, so Kat managed to get, I'm actually looking back at this really, really impressed with the luck that she got with some of these drafts. So she got all 3 copies of Tengu and both Hydrogeddons, so she was able to take advantage of those strategies. She had Merly and Havness, all the Lightsworn names at the time. I don't think I had as many Lightsworn names in here at this time, so I that was something I built upon over the months since the first time we fired this, and now she had Backjack, Hurry Bandit, Diabound Colonel came up a lot for her, Zephyros, Double Monster Reborn was crazy, Dark Twin Twisters, lots of Paleo names, the Double Powerwall, Needlebug Nest. She had the Tearlaments Crime and the Lightsworn Trap as well. Good traps. Had Double Nightmare Phoenix, Anomalocaris, Crumble Logos, the Ninja Shadow Mosquito, Gin Buster as well. Fortune Tune Dante to take advantage of some of the level 3s in there, like Havness. And then Time Thief Redoer as well, and Minerva to take advantage of the mill strategy. So that came up pretty well for her. And then this was Michelle's deck. So she got all of the Melfi names, but she was also trying to do a little bit more of a hybridized thing between the mill strategy and the level 2 Axis strategy. So she started with Merly and went in on the mill card. So she got more Lightsworn names, more tier names, got 2 copies of Backjack, which was cool, but got a decent amount of Melfi names, got the Sprite names, got the Laundry Dragon Maid and the Hidden Gem of the Seafront. Laundry Dragon Maid would have gone crazy in this deck. She had probably more paleo names than anybody else that day. Had triple Dynamicious and 2 Oleanoids. Crazy amount of paleo names and double Needlebug Nest. All the tier traps. The Melfi trap to go with the Melfi Mommies in the extra deck. Melfi the Forest in the extra deck. Got both of the paleo names in the extra deck. Sky Cavalry went crazy for her. She got Toad, Onibaro Soul Sweeper, just crazy stuff. And she was the one that, aside from myself, really did her research prior to us firing this, because I posted links to, the thing that Hardleg did, the thing that Simona BT did, and Joshua Schmidt and all that, and be like, here, watch these videos, learn how these cards synergize with each other, and kind of get a feel for what this is going to be like. And she did that, so she was prepared with all the activating Needlebug Nest, milling Paleos, milling traps that have graveyard effects and stuff like that. So she was pretty successful with that. And then finally, this was Chris's deck. So Chris went full in on the Fiend pile. And so he had triple Tour Guide, double Jiraigato. He got 3 of the Labyrinth Archfiend. He got the Lilith. He got the Infernal Prodigy and Malicious Edge package, Backjack Sangan. He got the lovely Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle, which was a mistake for me to put in there because it was game determinative. And so his list was just incredibly strong, like maxing out on copies of some of the best cards that he could get his hands on. Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch, Fair Welcome Labyrinth, Dynamicious, the other paleo names there. He had the other Morella. His only spell is Monster Reborn, which I think that's pretty defensible because it's so strong. He had the Cherubini. He had the Nightmare Unicorn, which is pretty strong. He had the other Toad, Double Dante, Breaksword. Definitely a force to be reckoned with. I think, taking out the Lady Labyrinth was definitely the right call. I think he went undefeated that night, if I remember correctly, or something like that. Not entirely sure. All right, so as far as the second time we drafted this with 6 people, again, unfortunately, we were not able to get a full extra deck because when we drafted this with 4 people, each person was able to get 17 extra deck cards, so a full 15 and put 2 back. And then with this time around, they were able to get only 11 extra deck cards. So I just have to increase the total quantity of extra deck cards to draft from for us to play with 6 people. This was Quentin's deck, so Quentin went on the Fiend pile as well, started with Tour Guide, got triple Doom Caliber Knight, Skullmeister, Labyrinth Archfiend. He got Diabound Colonel, Stygian Street Patrol. He got the Ghost Lancer in there. He got the Diabolico, which is pretty cool. His trap lineup was pretty strong. We got the one rollback in there now because we're on the second iteration of the cube. The Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch, the Fair Welcome Labyrinth, Breakthrough Skill, etc. He also got a lot of spells. Now, if you saw the distribution between spells and traps when I showed off the cube, I made it to where when somebody drew their 6 or 7 cards and started passing it around the table, there was only going to be 1 spell for every 5 or 6 traps. So you were very unlikely to get a high spell count. That's just how I had to distribute them. So he was going hard in on the spells. He also played 0 paleo names. So he did have some traps that had graveyard effects, including Breakthrough Skill and Lost Wind, but 0 paleo names at all with his deck, which, I mean, that is how he chose to play it, and it worked out just fine. This was Aiden's deck. Aiden is probably the person in this play group that had the most amount of has the most amount of experience, is the most skilled player in the group, and he started with Merly, went for more of the mill strategy, maxed out on Lightsworn names, got all 3 Rykos, got Felis, got Weiss, got double Lumina, only 1 Wolf as to not brick on it. The Zephyros came up, really powerful spells in Monster Reborn and Galaxy Cyclone, and then a decent spread of like staple traps, the traps with the graveyard effects, including Lost Wind, Breakthrough Skill, and Rise to Full Height, plus all the paleo names. And then Aiden's extra deck was cracked with Toad, Opabinia, Sky Cavalry, Minerva, etc., and the Geonator Transverser, which, as I mentioned, was game determinative the one time. This was Michelle's deck. So Michelle started with Swap Frog, and she managed to get triple Dupe Frog. Only got the one copy of the Nimble Beaver, so the Nimble Angler was not as strong. And she wasn't able to set up the dupe lock at any time during this version of the format, but she did have a decent spread of the sprite names. The sprite names were unfortunately split between us. So she had the Jet and the Pixies, and I had Red and Carrot. She actually had more sprite names than I did because she also had a Red and a Carrot. I didn't realize. Iperia, double Backjack, double Hidden Gem of the Seafront, Twin Twisters, and Dark Hole. Very solid lineup of paleo names. Needlebug Nest, double Torrential is huge. Compulse, some good battle tricks. Solid extra deck as well with Soul Sweeper, Anomalocaris, Sprite Sprint, Melfi of the Forest, Crumble Logos, Toad, Sky Cavalry. But I think her frustration was just not being able to get a critical mass of level 2 bodies on the field to really do anything with. Couldn't see enough of the sprite names to extend with them. And so a lot of times the Swap Frog would just send the Angler to summon one Beaver, and that was it. You couldn't get two bodies on field to do anything more than one rank 2. And then not being as familiar with lines where you like discard a water to special Swap Frog and then still normal a guy, or like bouncing back Swap Frog to normal summon him again, stuff like that. And that will come with practice as we play more Edison and stuff like that. This was Sam's deck. So Sam went on the Fiend pile as well, starting with Tour Guide, and actually got, looking at this, pretty lucky with some of the multiples. So triple Tour Guide, triple Gravekeeper Spy. I didn't realize that he had that, so hopefully that came up in the games. I guess we'll see when we watch back the footage. Edgem Sabers and Lilith has a target for Tour Guide, triple Tengu, and this was really funny because there was, at one point, a 2-card pack got passed to me, and it had Tengu and Firehand, and I passed it to Aiden, and I know he took Firehand, and I know that Sam ended up with the Tengu. So I think at that point, he probably decided to just go all in and get all 3. He's also got a Labyrinth Archfiend. He got the one Fiendish Rhino Warrior in there, Duragato. Really solid trap lineup with all of a bunch of paleo names, the Zone with the Earthbound Spirit, Lost Wind, Wiretap, etc. He got 2 copies of Zone with the Earthbound Spirit, actually. He was a Night Beam and the Final Bringer of the End Times, and I know he activated that at least twice. I remember seeing it. He's got the Time Thief Redoer. He had Cherubini, Anomalocaris, Double Dante. Really solid extra deck lineup there. This was Jonathan's deck. Jonathan was also on the Mill strategy. He started with Merly, and his goal was Waifu Turbo, I guess. He's like, I'm going to pick all the girls, so I'm going to go start with Merly, get all the Lightsworn names, get Lilith, etc. And so he was able to do that pretty successfully. Again, any combination of the 3 different strategies you can build out of this cube do go well together. Pretty solid monster lineup, double Labyrinth Archfiend, all the Lightsworn names, got a Backjack in there, got a Duragato in there. The trap lineup playing the Power Wall, the double copies of Track Trick, and most of the normal traps in here are played at 2 copies. So critically, the Trap Trick is live, and I didn't personally see him activate it. I'll have to ask him if he did. But seeing that as a build around, really, really super smart on his part, playing double copies of all his traps, so the Trap Trick is always live. And then he got the one Morella in there as well, which is, as I mentioned, one of the more powerful traps. And then he's got the Pit Knights because he just keep picking the girls every time. He's got Nightmare Phoenix and Cerberus, and Minerva as well to go with the Lightsworn and stuff. Okay, and then finally we have my deck from last night. So very similar to the first time I played it, but some things are critically very, very different. So I got triple Swap Frog. I've got 2 dupes, so I feel like is correct. I got two Beavers, so the Nimble Angler was super, super strong. I did not have a critical mass of sprite names. I only had 1 red and 1 carrot. I only saw the red 1 time. The Melfies were crazy in this. So overlaying Melfi of the Forest is a generic. You can make it with just 2 level 2s. So adding the caddy to hand, especially in the caddy at the end phase, which then searches for the penny synchros for Merry Melfies, is like something you would do in constructed level Sprite. It's crazy, and I definitely wish there were more Melfies in there so more players could do that. Hidden Gem of the Seafront. I thought I only played one. I guess maybe I played one in the previous cube and played two this time. Hyperia, Soul Scissors, realizing that Calentosa is technically a vanilla was unfortunate, but I've since taken it out of the cube. Diabound Colonel was crazy this time around. I didn't draft it the previous time. I got the Labyrinth Archfiend and had the one battle trick to go with it, but this time I picked Diabound Colonel, and it was awesome. It won me, like I said, 2 games completely all on its own. It completely stole the games it was a part of. I even tributed a Paleo to summon at one time, which was pretty funny. My spells were basically just power spells and wetlands. I wanted wetlands for the memes. Wetlands and Unifrog is hilarious, although that did not come up. I wanted as many paleo of the good paleo names as possible, so I did get Morella, Triple Dynamicious, Oleanoids. The Bakaya did not come up at all. Needlebug Nest, double Compulse, double Breakthrough Skill, I feel like was correct. I had all of the traps that had graveyard effects. I had Breakthrough Skill, Rise to Full High, and Lost Wind. Heavy Storm Duster ended up being really good. And I drafted 2 Zone of the Spirit, only played 1 because I did not get Time Thief Redoer, so I couldn't take advantage of that this time around. And then the extra deck was fine, but I didn't love it because I would have loved to have had Gin Buster. And so I missed that guy. I missed Soul Sweeper. But getting Melfi of the Forest ended up being kind of the backup plan there for this build around, and I feel like it was awesome. But Sprite Sprint, Toad, Opabenya, Ninja Shadow Mosquito, and Curse Javelin ended up being awesome. So really, really happy with this build. So, all right, thank you guys so much for watching the summary. I'm going to now post some gameplay of the cube. We've got a couple of duels recorded for you guys.
For me, that's crazy. I'll go. Give me some dice. First.
Oh yeah, dice. I forgot to bring those.
Oh, I don't have it. Mine are in my bag, which are under Michelle, but I don't need them. I got these.
I bring those inside there in my car.
Beat that. 5.
I have many a die in my box of dice.
I've beaten it by 1.
In my Final Fantasy
I don't know
bag.
what I'm doing, so.
That's fine. Hey, that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have never.
First?
I have only looked at frog cards. I have never really read any of them.
Yes, sir.
I was looking at cute girls and
Does
suffering.
any
Stand
of
by.
your stuff have
What you
synergy?
got for
Yes.
me?
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, please tell me that at least some of
My
it
synergy
does.
is mill my library, and my library mean deck. I'm
Yeah.
still a magic build.
Unbelievable.
I'll go first.
Okay, yeah, you already said that.
Yeah,
Here's 3.
I'm making sure I said that. 'Cause
Draw.
I don't remember, but
Set 4 pass.
Stand by.
Both on Eldritch.
I'm also
What
setting
is
3.
that for? Yeah.
Um,
Thankfully, there's no mass
and then I'm
back
gonna normal summon Reborn Tengu. Sure. Enter battle. Battle here, I'll go Wind
Brand new
Blast.
seems like super
Tap for you,
think
discard
it
and then
was
top one.
set
It tops one, yeah.
to-
So I'm gonna top the
and
Tengu.
normal summon Lady of Lament.
Or it puts it on the top of the deck, or?
Yeah.
Normal
Normal
summon
summon,
top.
so he's 1,000 attack.
Okay.
And
Alright,
I will
pass.
Alright.
End phase, I'll activate Needlebug Nest.
Really use it
So
for
mill 5
casual
cards.
play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
1, 2,
Good luck,
3,
sir.
4,
I'm going
5.
to
2 dog.
normal Merly.
3 actually.
And
Nope.
because I'm normal her, I'm gonna send the top 3 cards in that deck without graveyard. That's a bongus.
Anything standby.
Go ahead.
I think
So let me finish that.
anything
I am
after that
going to
results?
do the very
Nope.
similar
Oh,
play.
Drop
so
it.
England?
Setting 4 and passing.
If this
stand by.
card
Go
is
ahead.
sent from hand or deck
Go
to
for
the
it.
graveyard,
I got
I
a thing
can
now.
special summon
You can go ahead and go.
four-
Okay.
four-
I'll go ahead and just normal summon
up to
Zephyros.
2 level 3 or more nipples. So I'm gonna activate his effect. Let me make sure this guy does not.
Okay.
Respond to that by playing Zoma, the Earthbound Spirit. So special summon this card as an effect monster. In attack position. Sure. I'll attempt to activate Canadia in the grave. Is that one? Trap activation. Just to summon it as a monster. Sure.
I don't know if I want to do
That's
that yet.
Let's attempt to banish Galaxy Cyclone. Okay. We'll target
I
the
think
zone
battle
to
step
destroy it
is
because it's
just
still a top card.
immediately after attack declaration.
And
Is
this
it
has
for
to be some defense, right?
Sure, get it.
Drageo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what I
So,
can do.
I'll attempt to attack with
Yeah.
zero.
I will take
It's
the
in
300.
defense now, God forbid.
And
We'll go battle.
attack deck though.
Okay.
I'll attempt swinging for 16.
That's fine.
This is special. And then I gain 1,000 life.
I'll pass it to you.
And that effect goes as good, sir.
Yeah,
Into my tank
the Infernal Prodigy's good.
I will.
You are good.
How do you have more battery than I do?
Yes, probably.
Okay.
72%.
Normal
Yeah,
Tengu.
yeah.
I will.
Go Nero.
Activate Diamond Viscous to banish Paleozoic.
Sure, you have to discard a card.
Yes, I will. I'll discard 6 later.
Okay, so the
Okay.
Nero is good.
Sure, that's
So you
fine.
gain 1,000.
Then I gain 1,000.
So,
That's how it works.
because I control level 2 monsters,
And
Right,
then
right.
I
We'll attack
will
with her own.
and because I have
attempt to enter battle.
Go
Battle's fine.
Jelly Cannon here.
Pop
Shuffle her
your
back
set
in
for
her
100.
On attack deck here, I'll Dionysius to banish the Tengu.
as long as I control
Okay.
a
Does it win
It's only when
damage
it's
Yeah.
water,
right.
or is
when
it
he leaves the field? So
Oh, true.
Then I
Okay.
guess
special
I'll
summon
attack
another
with
Sure.
Jorgetto.
I will take the 17.
I believe.
Pretty sure.
Yep, face up,
Yeah.
leaves the field.
Yeah, for that one it is earth and water. And
Sure. And I'll take 100, so.
So what?
Alright. And then I will.
Shuffle.
Pass.
Main 2. I'll set 1 and pass to you.
Okay. During the end phase, I'm going to activate Zone of the Spirit,
I'll set one of
which is
those.
going to summon itself to the field as a monster.
Draw.
Okay.
Stand by me.
And then we'll go to my draw phase.
Yes, sir.
Why is this?
Yeah. Just right for battle.
Alright, I'm gonna exceed for
Yes, set
these two,
1.
for
Sure.
side
Enter battle.
three.
Take your face down.
We're going to
It's Mother
phase
Grizzly.
and tribute
I'll
Zone
trigger
of the
her effect.
Spirit
Okay.
for
Cannot be
Diadem
destroyed
Storm.
in battle while he has material.
I will
At the
special
end of the damage step,
laundry.
after you've battled a monster, I
And
can
I'm gonna
attach
trigger laundry to
a
mill 3
material
cards.
from the
Okay.
card and return that monster to it.
okay, interesting. I think we want to just go ahead and activate Paleozoic Morello.
Okay.
And yeah, I got one.
Yeesh.
Send one trap from my deck to the graveyard.
Quick effect tribute.
Anything after the attack?
Nope, pass.
Draw. Stand by.
Okay, so we'll go
Mid
to
phase.
combat.
But
I will declare.
set
So you're
one.
sending a monster to the
When you
graveyard,
declare
correct?
taking
trap.
6
A trap, yeah,
attack.
okay.
Um,
That will eventually
Eight.
become a monster, yeah.
Arcadia instinctively played around in perm, even though I don't think
yeah,
it's in here.
it's not a
I appreciate it.
Attack with my train, lost one.
Sure. I'll
Negates
take
effects.
400. I'll trigger Zephyros, target belonging to Dragon Maid. I'll add it back to my hand and special Zephyros.
Okay. So 400.
That's not good. I am
And I
going to have
will normal
to
summon Laundry, trigger her effect to mill 3.
chain Diadem Kernel's effect,
Okay.
which
Yep, no, that's
I target Jurigato, reduce its attack by
See how puffy they
the
are.
attacker.
Just
is
the rising
yeah.
25.
Huh.
So it goes to 0. And then this card gets banished till the next standby phase. So
Okay.
he gets banished, and then under standby phase will come back.
yeah, I'll just do
Let's
Alonia.
try battle
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Hold on.
Sweet.
I'll
Draw
go
phase.
Zephyros into face down.
I did.
Alright. Sengen.
Draw phase.
Yeah.
Sengen effect.
That's fine.
Alright.
And add a monster 1500 or less.
Alright, we'll summon
Alright,
that
on here.
attack is permanent, correct or not?
He does go back up to 17. Yeah, and then he's back at 18 because
Yeah.
he reset.
For right now.
Okay, I'm gonna set.
I'm gonna go for tour guide.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna enter battle.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Can that just
activate
add
Archfiend's Ghastly
Yeah,
Blade.
just add that.
I control a fiend monster.
Summon Lady of
So I will target one card in the field and destroy, and then send one fiend from my deck to graveyard. So I will destroy your Xyz and send a fiend from deck to graveyard.
Nothing to do. Alright, pass to you.
Draw. Stand by.
I'll go ahead and normal summon tour ride effect.
So instead,
Special
I'm
summon
gonna
a
go
level
to-
1 level 3 monster from my hand or deck.
Yeah, you're good.
If that's needed. Alright. What do I got here?
Yeah, this is a big play. We're gonna probably need it. I'm on week 3 here for neither here.
Yes.
Attempt to activate effect.
I'm gonna go with Pigeon Saber.
You get pay the cost.
Discard.
Sure.
I will chain breakthrough skill to negate the effect.
Okay.
There you go.
I can't do that yet. That's unfortunate.
I took a big gamble.
I think that was the only one that did something more
Cost
than
me
it from
dearly.
Something real fast, sorry.
You're good. I'm chill.
Whoops.
I got the snock.
I saw.
As do Doom Caliber now.
That is not good.
Orange.
I like the orange.
I like orange too.
And then
I like goofy mochi frog.
for the activation of
That
this,
attack,
I
that attack
will
raises it by how much? 600?
So
What
it's only
did you
when he
discard?
declares an attack.
Oh.
So he's currently
Do Caliber
18.
Knight.
But if you attack, I will
There's another thing I want to do, but
use his
I have
effect to
what I need
to
to activate
banish
his
it
effect
until
in the graveyard. Yeah.
Yeah. Thought it was just to attack you. I took a huge gamble and it didn't pay off. That's alright. Your turn.
Okay.
Get
I will
over
drop
it.
a turn.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna try to swing it here with Sprite Guide for 200.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
going to normal hidden gem in the seafront.
Okay.
I will go to combat.
Yep.
I will
I'm just gonna
declare,
click
putting
effect.
600, putting him at
Lilith,
25.
I will tribute one dart. A monster,
No,
reveal 3 normal
24.
traps from my deck.
So take
You
100.
choose one, and I shuffle the other two back in. So I will tribute
He's at
Lilith.
22.
Oh, I keep thinking he's 23.
So you don't.
I keep thinking I guess like link 3. I think that's
overlay
23.
3
And then
Yep.
take 500.
for
Table 7. Alright.
I don't
Dante.
even have him.
Mhm.
Francis.
Yep.
I
Link
will
Well, I guess I'm on hard the
Chalupa.
card status from this
Uh-huh.
point.
Lean
I said it's not
Chalupa.
Chalupa.
detach
Lean Chalupa.
one material to mill 3 to give him 2300.
Hold it away. It's-
Now let me detach Pigeon.
I see.
A better material.
So you choose one, and the other two get shuffled back in.
And then I will interbattle
Normal
both.
summon.
This is 100 here, and Dante's
Effective
at
beaver will
118.
summon another
Uh,
elderly or nimble monster.
Yeah,
from
he's
deck.
at 300 for each card sent, or 500 for each card sent, so he's at 25.
Sure.
He's
So
cooking
I'll say-
now.
I finally have
21?
some gas.
Yeah,
21 in
finally
total?
cooking.
Yep.
Alright, and then I will pass to you.
Draw. That's horrible.
I think unfortunately I have
stay
to
my man.
go with
This is the one you're choosing? Cool. So I will set that, and these will go back into here.
I don't get Angler's effect when I use step here because it has to be from hand or deck.
I'm glad.
It's not
Oh,
from
damn,
field
I
or
didn't trigger
grave
this one.
triggers, which is
Searching through my deck is already going off one turn.
Can I see your graveyard real quick?
Yeah, sure. I got rollback and 2 paleos, I think, that are important. And the scissors and edge
Yep.
that are alive currently.
The table's so hard.
It's my turn.
Okay. I will draw.
I will roll back, target your Opabinia.
Okay. What does that do for you?
So I'll get to trigger the Opabinia's Spanish effect.
Green my dino, or
The Dynamicious.
yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
I say Opabinia.
yes, you did. Sorry, it was just
Dynamicious.
um.
So anything in response to the transaction rollback.
I'm gonna go ahead and activate
Let's go
I'll do
link 2 here
Set 1 and pass.
for
Draws
Sprint.
return.
Sprint on someone is going to send a level 2
I'm gonna
from
grab
the grave.
activate on trap activation, so you just get a monster out.
Sure, that's fine.
Sure.
So,
And then you
yeah, I'll resolve the Opabinia. I'll just
Same
finish
with
the
Soul
Dante.
Scissors.
okay. Materials go to the graveyard, right?
Yes, the materials go to the graveyard.
Alright.
And I'll lose half. Because that.
It would be
I don't have to do.
The return to hand effect. You don't have to do that part, yeah. You can either normal it and send from deck to grave, or you can discard a water special it and send from deck to grave.
Okay.
I will set
Aiden.
1 pass.
And we'll draw.
On Hinge In with the Seafront,
Mhm.
it says if you control, so it's phrased where it says if you control an earth and a water monsters plural, while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon it. So
Yeah.
you have to control both an earth and a water, or one of the other.
Not to my knowledge, it should be one or the other.
I thought it was one or the other either, because if it was both, it would be way, way worse.
Well, it says and Earth and
No,
water.
no, it
Is
says
it?
earth or water monster.
No, that's the
No,
first effect. The second effect.
The second effect.
Oh, if you control an earth and water monster, correct, you have to control both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. That card's way less good than we thought it was then.
Oof.
So I can't revive it unless I can.
Stand by me.
Yeah.
I'm going to enter battle, and during my battle step, I'm going to
That's
special
still,
summon
that still is
And then
plausible.
normal
my guy.
Oh, damn, I'm dead.
Oh
And
shit,
two.
swing.
Yeah,
That's
It's gonna
it.
be one.
Damn, I milled all the cards I
per
did.
auction
Oh,
monster.
we doing best 2 out of 3 or just 1?
I'm attacking with Devon Kernel.
We doing best 2 out of 3?
Tomato. Tomato effect.
Yep, do we have triggers?
Oh,
I had threatening roll out.
Oh, and
Damn.
Soul Scissors triggers too.
I was really hoping it was like something reactive,
When
so I
it's
could like
short,
transaction
it's
roll back you trigger the guy, and then it'll be like, oh, shit, maybe I can get my a guy out so it starts.
Well, if it's 15, then it's bigger than everything
Oh,
else.
I threw that game too. I didn't trigger the last one when you summoned Dante. I shouldn't have taken that much damage.
Oh yeah.
Dark ones with 1,500 or less.
Dante.
Dante.
Attack position.
I can't believe Dante was in his bathtub the whole time.
How did game 1 go for y'all?
I win.
You did?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hi.
Milled a bunch of very unfortuitous cards.
I do feel like that. That was the fun of the
Yeah.
mill strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dark ones with 1,500 attack.
I just got a bunch of silly little guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
I mean, Tank is a
So,
good card.
pitch dupe forward.
I will attempt to be on the draw this time.
Okay.
So you may take first.
Alrighty.
And because
After you.
he was sent from field,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
just kidding, him.
Uh-huh.
This move
Alrighty.
is definitely not as good as I thought it was going to be here.
I am not understanding how these damn frogs work.
What's up?
They do be frogging.
I'm gonna set one. Oh, you can go. I'll
Yeah,
wait.
it's good. I'm just gonna read, I guess.
Okay.
So the unfortunate thing about Dude Frog, the effect to add
and
a
I'm
frog
gonna
of Dude
normal
Frog is
tour
only
guide
going to
effect.
trigger
Sure.
if he's destroyed by battle and nothing else happens, because he can very easily miss the timing.
So I pitched him with Swap Frog.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Special summon
Nothing
Lilith.
happens there.
Nothing happens there.
Do you have
Like
Nimble Angler Beaver?
No.
And then I will.
We'll go tour
Yeah,
guide.
But you could
Graveyard,
send,
graveyard.
what I'm saying is you could send the Angler off of
Want
Frog
or
to get
Yeah,
Beaver.
Angler's
wait
already
for
in the
Dante
graveyard.
Oh, okay.
already.
We'll go tour guide effect.
Yeah, Tour Guide does activate this. Actually, is it only on normal? Or?
It's special.
Yeah, Tour Guide only activates on normal.
Oh, it only activates on. Oh.
Hold on.
Only activates on normal. That's a problem.
It body blocks, but unless you want to pick a different target, it's fine.
Why's the only
Problem
thing
is
I
I don't
Silence.
have
That's unfortunate.
I didn't realize Mystic Tomato did not really synergize with it.
I thought I was cooking there. I'm not. I'm done.
It's okay.
It
Things
is what it
happen.
is. Yeah,
Things
things do happen.
You'd already
Not
pitched
really
Angler.
helped me actually.
Yeah, I did
You
it
can get
off
like
of,
Soul Scissors in
Mary.
rotation,
Yeah.
Quentin, if you have it.
Huh?
You can get like Soul Scissors in rotation if you have it, Quentin.
So what?
Soul Scissors.
This guy?
Hey, so
Yeah, I don't have
scissors,
Oh. I'll go
I'm
ahead
going to
and
give
overlay
you
for
a-
Dante.
Okay.
Just
All the ones
defense.
that are doing have flip effects. This is
Pass.
I'll draw.
The side of desperation. I
stand
know
by.
that feeling.
Mhm.
Main phase. Okay. I will set 3.
I've got no really good targets. I didn't realize the 6 tomato was not
And then
that
I will
deep
norm
this
summon
week.
Creep
Yeah, well, I mean, in
Bandit.
theory, it's still good because, like, if it was a situation of I only
I'll
have one
attempt to record
guy
that
and my
phase.
one guy cleared tomato,
I'll
then it
trigger
would
the
pass
Creep
back
Bandit.
to you.
He will tribute
With the
himself,
monster
and I'll
hero.
escape the top
Tomato would
5
still
cards of
be
my deck,
viable.
Right.
add a spell
It
trap
It just so
from
happens I
among
have
them,
more
and I'll send the
guys
rest
that
of
can
them.
attack.
Okay.
Did you get more than one tomato?
No.
Okay, so then say if you got a second
3,
tomato, you can summon that.
4,
and you
5.
continue to body block.
I'll add a
but-
Galaxy Cyclone. I'll send the rest to grave.
That is some good stuff to send to grave.
I will trigger the effect of Wolf to summon himself.
Out of options. So yeah, I'll just do one.
I'm glad I went for Dante in defense, just so I couldn't get beaten to
Are y'all
death.
still in game one?
Yeah, because
Is Wolf special?
Yeah.
Cards are hard.
And right there. I'll add the Galaxy Cyclone, and then
Sorry, I'm gonna send
I
two
will
out
say go
of
for it.
those.
Yeah, we will
draw.
hit it into
Stand by.
for 400 damage.
I'm going
Let's
to
see.
activate
6 for Mangler, so 1,000
Sprite
total.
Smashers
Yo.
and banish a Sprite card from
Main
my
2, I'm
hand.
thinking about
Going to
Sprite Jet.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Nobleman of
I'm
Extermination.
going to do the
which
effect
target?
of banish
Center trap card.
one
Main
level
2, we will overlay random
Slash
should I read
Right.
Extermination from
Yeah,
flash
it's
me
don't
two
know if I
monster.
banishes
I can
and then-
roll
the
card
forest.
Do banish
Okay.
it.
So I'm gonna banish.
We will detach the Melfi the forest
That's
and
unlucky.
Melfi to hand.
And
Um,
Okay.
Always go middle.
Bye-bye, Morella.
yeah.
Caddy here.
I don't know what you have face down.
We will chain Wing Blast.
And then
Okay.
I'll discard,
for in the end phase, it will
The
special
Cyclone.
from the hand.
I'll
and I'll
go
spin
that
Dante
way.
back.
Okay.
Attack your face.
And I believe, since the way this is
I
worded,
just needed it in the graveyard.
Think
That's absolutely
face down.
fair.
Okay.
I could have gotten them.
So because I flipped it face up, it won't destroy
like
it.
summoning
Okay.
but I didn't.
So we're not going to have to reveal both
I'm
remaining
not
decks.
sure why.
Alright.
To my knowledge, it's
I
not
guess that's it for me.
Alright, alright.
Okay.
Alright, part of the
Keep going.
cards.
I'm going to
Draw. That's a card, not a card that I need. Right. Well, actually not.
It's Wolf.
I'm gonna normal summon Absolute King.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess I missed the time
Let's
of the
see.
effect of Blackjack when he went to the graveyard.
I think I've always got his graveyard
That's
right.
fine.
I'm gonna
that
do
card I
Final
could
Bringer of
use
the End
regardless.
Times. So I'm gonna target Absolute Blackjack and then Wolf and Blow and Buff up.
No, he just got sent to the graveyard, so I didn't get to look at the top 30. Is what
Can I
I
read
should
it
have
in
done.
time?
I see, okay, yeah. You missed the on field effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Destroy them.
Being sent to the graveyard effect. I will send top 3 cards
Yeah,
to
that's
the
fine.
graveyard.
Okay.
One.
And then I will pass.
Sure.
Weiss's effect.
And hope.
Okay.
Draw from deck to graveyard, target one lights, one
Stand by.
monster to your graveyard except for
Go for
once.
it.
I don't
Yeah.
have any other lights ones in the
Okay.
graveyard.
I will draw for turn.
That is unfortunate.
I will attempt to normal summon Lumina.
Okay, give me 1 sec. This is just excavate and then set trap, right?
Let's go.
Yeah,
to
it's
combat.
during my turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We will
I'll let
attempt
that
to
go through and then I'm gonna
declare
banish
the
him
down.
and
He will
excavate
gain
until I
an
get a
additional
trap.
600
Go for it.
attack,
It's
putting him at
should just
3K.
be
Normal trap, I
Oh,
believe.
shoot. He climbs.
He's getting big.
He getting big.
Oh, this
Oh, you're
is
doing
another
the doing your
set
opponent's
of
turn.
cards
Just
that
carve from
I
your
didn't have because I didn't have.
Okay,
it's only the top
graveyard
card
because
you
it's in my
can-
hand.
Only the top card?
Yeah,
course.
if it's a
It's in
normal
my
trap,
hand.
you can set it to your field. Otherwise, set it
I
to
don't know
your
what I'm
graveyard.
doing.
Okay.
And then
I'll pass.
fortress
trap?
for him.
It's not a normal trap. Shouldn't be.
No, it is.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought that was continuous. Sure. Cool. Works for me.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright.
And I will attempt Lumina's effect afterwards. I will discard Sengan. I will. I do have to target. I'll target Gareth to special summon to my side of the field.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Cool. Got Gareth and Illumina.
I Gareth to you.
I'll attempt
Alright.
to go to battle.
Go for it.
Sure. I'll go 1850 in, and then
I
1000.
will.
All right, 28.
Yep. 2850.
2850.
Nice.
All right.
And then
Alright, animals Marion.
Interfast.
Basically, that's the last time.
An attack.
Uh-huh.
so
That's
I'll try and move
400?
towards end
Yeah.
phase. I will trigger the Lumina. Because it's my end phase, I have to send the top 3 cards back to the graveyard.
Right.
And then I will send the top 3. Uno, dos, tres. I will go Felis, Chainlink 1, Gareth, Chainlink 2. The Felis will special herself. I'll summon her right there. Oh, this one also special herself.
try to
Can
get
I
to
go
combat?
1, 2, 3? Is that okay?
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Swinging a spring.
Okay, cool. So
I
special
will
here.
go.
And then Gareth is going to send the top 2. If I mill another Light Sworn, either 1 or 2, I can
Go
draw
down
any
in
cards.
here. I will
1,
discard the
2.
damages
No
on my
worries.
hands to banish.
Back to you.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah, I could not come back from that night
This is
right
a
here.
dumb question.
Thing. It's a gamble.
I mean, if you want to.
I guess.
The fact that Deogon Colonel can banish himself during the damage step is crazy.
Yeah, it's a very good card.
This is the first time I've actually got to play it. In this
I'm gonna play Shield
series.
Crush
I think I tried it last
on-
time and it never came up or
The
something like that.
Felis?
Yes.
So like I can
Just face up defense, or 1 defense wizard monster destroy target.
Yeah.
and he can target a spell and trap on the field and destroy it.
Correct.
Then I'm going to.
But in
What do you
response,
like me to see?
I would like to
I'm going to be silly.
activate Tears of the
Normal summon
Overroot.
Soul Scissors.
Okay.
I will
And then
target
activate
one card you
Elbows
control and one
effects
card
to
in your
target
graveyard.
this and give
The card
500
on
attack
the field goes
defense
to the graveyard,
until
the
the
card
end
in
of
the
the turn.
graveyard goes on the field.
Sure.
And then I'm going to enter battle.
On entrance
I
to
would
battle,
like for you
I'll
to
go ahead and
set
flip
on your
Dino
field.
I would love
Mishas.
to
I'll discard Merly to banish the Soul.
I don't know if I can give you
Banish.
a try.
Yep.
You can't
But,
give me a
and then
frog.
I can give you a
Thinking-
Needlebug Nest back.
I will
Launching in
take
2.
needle blindness, honestly.
Where's the
And then
other?
I
Someone choose to
will
go
send your
first.
other face down to the graveyard.
Fuck no, I don't. Okay.
But I can still target.
Yeah, you can still target.
I will target
Anything
that.
else?
Nope.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Anything so.
Given your end phase. Okay, perfect.
He's set, right?
It's okay if I
Yeah,
go.
that one's set.
Okay.
Draw. Stand by.
Mhm.
Main phase.
Alright.
I will go ahead and activate Lumina. I will.
Okay. I will enter battle.
Yep.
I will
Um,
tap with Sprite
discard
Red.
a breakthrough skill targeting the wolf to special summon him.
Okay.
Chippy.
Did you say Persona?
What?
Persona.
What's a persona?
I thought I heard Wolf
No.
Persona.
No.
Wolf to summon. How dare you?
It's my wolf persona. What do you
Oh my
mean?
goodness.
We'll do Curry Bandit.
I think
okay.
that is
will.
just barely not enough to kill me.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
I'm
Sprite
thinking
Red
for
is
one.
just hanging out.
Yeah.
It's
In phase
31,
effect,
I can't
tribute,
believe you
excavate.
couldn't
49.50.
I gave you Needlebug Nest. You said you wanted it.
I do!
And now
And you
have
special
it.
summon the wolf, right?
It's okay.
I'm helping
Yeah.
you. I'm trying to help you find
It's
cards.
okay.
This would be
I-
lost
it
wizard
was
target
like
special
that.
summon monster, negate its
My
effects,
heart.
and have its
Next
original
phase,
attack.
Do you wanna do that on the wolf?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Terrors.
Cool. And I'll overlay here
Take Soul Taker.
into Minerva.
Okay.
And I'll trigger the Minerva. I'll detach one, mill 3, and then draw as many cards as I mill
No
light
way.
swords.
I'm
Okay.
gonna draw for turn.
Proceed,
1,
sir.
2,
Okay.
3.
I'm
Nothing.
draw for turn.
Yeah.
Nothing standby.
I'll try for battle.
Yep.
Oh wait, hold on. It's
I will.
okay. I mill 2 more because of Gareth. So
Okay.
here's 2 more.
Activate
1,
Swap Frog
2.
hand.
I'll draw a
Issue
card
to
from Gareth
special.
for dog. Yep.
I'm going
We'll
to
do Swap Frog effect to mill
do
one.
needle blood nest.
And then I'll move to battle.
on
This is
its
3.
4850.
Yeah, 48.50.
activation. I'm gonna trigger
Yep. Not that many.
Paleozoic. Illinois.
300 left. Alright.
And then I'll move to end phase. Lumina will trigger. I'll mill top 3.
To make sure I do
And
this
then
correctly.
Gareth will mill 2 more. And then I'll slam it back to you.
Alright. I will draw.
This
Yep.
can be summoned on turn when trap is activated, correct?
You got it.
Let me see.
Wire trap.
I also drew white tap.
Yes, it does not have to be your trap.
Cool.
Game 3.
If I got threatening roar, I was just gonna let you mill yourself to death.
Yeah.
Totally fine. I'm going
think
to.
I got a couple of those, so.
Get
Just like
Head
anything
out.
to stop you from killing me
Right.
for an extra turn or two.
When
Yeah,
touch
if I'm
summon,
milling
I can
9 more
set
cards
a
'cause you're
normal
my
trap
Nerve
from my
nerd.
deck.
Yeah,
That can
yeah.
only be activated when an attack is declared.
Okay, so he still happens. He still exists.
Would that mess up the chain for her trap activation if I summon this?
Because I would still get. It's my turn, so I would get priority.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking?
Because I don't know.
So
that-
this is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
If you activate Needlebug Nest, he has an opportunity to respond to the Needlebug Nest.
Okay.
If he does not have a response to Needlebug Nest, you can then trigger the Paleos in your graveyard. But if he has a response, it will interrupt yours, which means you
Okay.
can't summon the Paleo.
Okay. So I interrupted your paleo summon off the needle button.
Okay, well, set your damn
Yeah.
card.
That's why Archfiend is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty much the
It's the Paleo no button. It's
yeah,
the no
it's,
penguin.
it's the payoff to going for the fiend strategy, in my opinion.
Yeah,
send the
I think I
Angler,
got one of those
Angler
in
will
here,
effect,
too.
will trigger and
Yeah,
summon
it's a
the
really
fiend.
damn good card. I wish I pulled one, but it was either that or like the Laundry Dragon, and I picked the Laundry Dragon.
Laundry Dragon's really good. It's basically just another copy of Merly, really.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but with Zephyros, you just get like 2 copies of each one. So you get to normal summon it, and if you mill Zephyros, you can Zephyros it back and then normal summon it again next turn.
Yeah.
I'll take draw.
Sure.
And then
So I'm going first? Or?
Yes.
Sounds good.
because I have not normal.
I'm trying to
it's
get
Swamp
this
Frog
out.
and Hard Master.
Stand by.
Oh, of course it's
Main
not.
phase.
We wish to use frog.
I will set 1 card. And set 2.
Okay.
Pass back to you.
I actually don't think I have any targets for
Draw.
that setting effect. Because it does specifically say when an attack is declared, so it would have
Okay, I think this is good. So I'll use Swamp Frog's
I
effect
was
to
it?
return
I was
it to
not
hand
listening to
in
what you were
normal
saying. What's
summon.
up?
Labyrinth specifically says when an attack is
send
declared
another
for that
water.
trap card to be activated,
Um,
even if it's a normal trap, but you can
Oh.
technically activate normal traps.
If it's setting it with a certain condition, you have to follow the
Contingency
condition.
fund.
Yeah,
So
which
like,
would
if
be-
you can only activate it if
And
the
then
fiend's
we'll
on your
use
side of the
actual
field, and you can only
normal
activate it when it's the
turn
fiend, even
on-
though it's a normal trap.
So it's fine that you don't have a target.
So because I control
I think
a
so, right?
water
Because
geyser,
it
I'll
does
summon
say
that
the
to
trap has,
effect.
it's a normal trap that can only be activated
Um,
when an attack is declared, but
makes
wouldn't
sense.
technically.
If the trap card is activated, you can special this card from your hand. If this card is special summon, you set 1 normal trap from your deck that can only be activated when attack is declared. It'd be like a card like Mirror Force.
Yeah.
It would have to only be activatable at the point of an
yeah,
attack.
Yeah.
So like,
So you don't need it to summon
Yeah.
it. So you don't.
Yeah.
correct.
It is just gonna be more.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
I'm just
Just enough.
looking for things to thin my deck
Yeah.
and to throw things.
Cool. I'm gonna
Yeah,
start
Doubleman
discarding
on-
your fine.
Yeah.
This
Left.
Do your 5 mil.
One.
My left.
Oh, you're left. Oh, okay. Sure, I'll trigger it. I'll flip all your nades, and I'll target the other spell trap to destroy it.
4.
Okay.
5. He does nothing.
Then, because you control a monster, I'll special summon Ghost Lancer.
Sure.
And then I will normal tour guide
Sure,
effect.
that's fine.
I want the
Thinking on effect here. I'll trigger Havness
Okay.
to special summon it and mill 3 cards.
Okay.
not quite.
I'm gonna grab Lilith. Special summon Lilith.
So we have 2 here.
Got some gas today.
Affected that.
I will
Bad Caddy.
attack the Havness or inner battle.
Yeah.
We will set a card, and then we will go to end phase, which Caddy will summon itself out.
I'll have this with Ghost Lancer. Ghost Lancer is piercing.
So we're gonna normal.
Sure.
So 1,000.
Yeah, I'll take a
And then I'll attack your other face down with Lilith.
I don't
Sure. It's
really want to say.
And then
Summon the Melfi cat.
so
It says
I'll
I
trigger the
can't,
Grizzly.
well, I don't have to.
I'll special a water.
And
Okay.
because
I get my face for 14? Or
I
the
control
I'll tempt it.
Okay.
rank.
Who goes on?
I think there's only one water in the deck, so that makes
Uh-oh.
it pretty
So it
easy.
becomes a monster, right?
It's another Grizzly.
18.
And I have to attack it, is that right?
That is another
Yeah,
Grizzly. Um,
you have to attack
so
it.
attack on.
Okay.
1,000.
Yeah, I'll summon
So
those.
Spring gets destroyed. I take full.
And then
will
I'll-
bring out Sprite.
And then
Pixie.
Soul
Pass
Six
on that.
actually triggers series of monsters destroyed.
And I think
Sure. Walk up here real quick.
Because Lilith is negated.
Yeah. Cool. I will draw. Stand by. Main phase.
And phase the okay, so
Sir, rock return.
this might be my best bet. It's to see the boy mama cares.
We'll attempt the soul taker to take its soul.
Because he can be affected
Sure.
by
I'll
your
summon.
that is fine.
Alright, I
So
will gain
I'm
a
gonna
1,000.
enter battle.
That's got
nothing
4,000
right now.
attack.
I'll go to battle.
That
Okay.
one does?
I'll go Mother Grizzly.
Yeah.
I get 400 for
Yep.
every normal trap with a different name. 1, 2,
No, my trigger
3,
guy.
4,
She's
5.
cute.
The fuck am I supposed to get rid of that?
And then
Yes.
I'll
Okay.
go to main 2. I'll normal summon Curry Bandit.
Okay.
I'll go to end phase. Curry Bandit will trigger.
Okay,
Contribute.
whatever.
And I'll send the
Go
top
for it.
5.
I don't think
Okay.
I'm
Nice, we'll
winning
try
this.
for one of them.
Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I will draw.
Wow, so many options.
So we'll go Stodge and
I will add
Then we'll
the
summon
Wire.
Stodge and Shoot Patrol.
Okay.
I am going to.
So when you normal summon, Caddy will trigger
Back to you.
here.
Okay.
It will
I'll
return to the
draw.
hand and add a
Yep.
beast monster in my hand.
Lash.
Yeah.
Banish Doom Caliber Knight from my
Okay.
graveyard
Iron Blossom.
to special summon Luna, the
It's gonna
Dark
have
Spirit.
Penny, and then on resolution, Penny's
Then-
on the resolution of Caddy's effect, Penny's effect will trigger. It special summons itself from the hand, and then it
I will go
synchros
to
with another
that.
Melfi in my hand. So
And
it's a summon.
attack
It is. It's
I'm almost
Rust-
gonna normal
so it
summon
synchros with
with
the hand.
Lilith.
Labyrinth.
So hers halved.
So
Or
that's-
That should be 16.
Enter battle.
Yeah.
Sure.
Berry Melfis.
I'm gonna swing with Lilith into the Grizzly.
And then I
Sure,
will attack
I'll
you directly
take-
with Luna.
600.
600 here, and then I'll trigger the Grizzly.
When it is special summoned, it returns
What's that? Oh yeah, some
Special out of the deck.
Yeah, that's
a
fine.
monster on the field of the hand.
Launch Dragon Maid.
Mm-hmm.
I will activate Launch Dragon Maid, send the top 3 cards back to the graveyard.
Zone with the hand.
So that's 4 or 600 for that, real quick.
That's 2k, yeah, 600.
Because effect's negated.
Yep.
So no halved.
I think that's
And it was
fine.
special summoned anyway.
Alright, well.
No, that was my health.
And I only have
Proceed
Sprite
to
Carrot.
battle then.
I'll take yours.
And
And
you
we'll
would
attempt to
you hit me with
swing
3,
into your soul
and then
scissors.
16, that's 200. I don't think I make it past that.
Yeah, and on my standby, this deals 500 damage to
And then
you.
you milled 3.
Yeah,
So
mill
that
3,
was-
it was Zephyr's Breakthrough Skill Lumina.
Okay.
I will go first.
Okay.
It's crazy.
That is fine. I will allow
I
it to
hope
be
no
destroyed.
more fucking frogs do apparently.
I have nothing immediately after.
Okay. I'll swing with Lilith into
You got to
Dragon Maid to deal 500.
Thinking.
I guess that is a very fitting name.
I don't know what I'm doing with them.
How many cards are there?
2.
Now,
100.
where were
Sets.
you?
Yes. I wish. All those 2. That's my hand over there.
True. Yeah, 500 is fine.
And then I'll attack directly with Ghost Lancer for 2,000.
I'm going to
Lancer Gashinda.
Yeah, he did.
Sure. Can I read Lilith real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
This one frog.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck this one frog. Yes, sir.
She's an enabler.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to use her to do.
Thank you. I know I am. I enable
Yeah,
so
I'll
much.
flip down issues here.
Pick up cards.
Oh, that's not even
Pension.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah, I'll banish the Lancer.
Okay.
Lancer Gashinda.
He really did
And
Gashinda.
then anything after Dynamishes,
No.
we will trigger.
Are you doing something from Grave?
Yeah, I'll go.
So
I'm gonna Spellmeister you.
Water and earth.
Okay,
I will switch
sure.
it. We'll go right
Works for me.
to
And then main 2, I'm going to trigger this Wolf's effect, tribute herself.
Yes.
And then I'm going to grab 3 normal
gonna
traps from my
normal
deck, and then
him.
you pick
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And
I
I
picked
pick
one
Do
randomly,
wetlands
right?
so
Yes.
you can get 100 attack.
Yeah, randomly
Yeah.
chooses.
How much? Oh,
That
100%.
one-
That's insane.
Is it 3
Yeah,
different
I'm gonna
traps?
spin a card.
No,
Yeah.
it's 3
No,
normal
just 3
traps.
normal.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I heard you right.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, wait, what?
And
Go Ninja Shout.
He's 17 now.
This card's annoying.
Ooh, what does that card do?
So when, he can't be sure of a battle.
Oh no,
he
he's
takes
not.
damage,
He's
the battle's
only
involving
500.
him.
Because he's
when
not an awful water type.
all of your monsters must attack if able. And,
If it was a frog.
Yeah.
If they
Sage.
attack, I can put a hallucination
This
counter on
bonus
them,
is useless.
and the hallucination
I'm
counter
sure
will
it's
either
set.
negate their effects or burn them for their attack value. Burn you for their attack value.
Yeah.
Look
Oh,
at
okay.
this little
He
face.
kind of
Yeah,
is
just,
a more defensive card, but I think he's
1, 2, 3, 4,
very
5,
nice.
6.
got it.
Because you control a
1, 2.
monster, I can special summon my own ghost.
Do you get to see the one that is?
No.
It's just
No,
a-
if it's
it
random,
gets
I don't get
I
knowledge.
will
Yeah.
normal
Yes.
summon Lila. I will
anything in standby here?
target your face down.
Alright.
Switch her to defense mode.
Okay,
Destroy
I
your face
understand
down.
that
I
because I'm an actual
will-
Okay.
Storm Duster.
Pass to you, my good friend.
Yes.
Draw.
I will change the.
When a monster is
standby.
sent from my field to the graveyard,
Actually,
even during the damage step, I can target one
Yeah,
monster on
I'll
the field and
change
destroy it.
this
I'm destroying
What?
him.
How does that make sense to the graveyard?
and then can I
Simply
also
You're
change-
destroying him.
So-
I'm destroying your face down trap card.
Oh
Can I
my
change
I will
Labyrinth or
draw.
does it-
Standby.
Just kidding. I thought you were targeted.
So that
I'm gonna set one.
No. This only targets spell and traps.
I forgot.
I don't remember
Unless it
where.
says a normal
Inner battle with
Yeah.
How could you?
Pop your
Yeah.
Raiko!
Oh no.
I'll use Raiko to
I'm
pop
sorry.
that, mill 2 cards.
I'll go to
Summon.
battle. Attack your guy.
How much?
He's got 2,000,
And
so
So
that's
it's
15.
This becomes 1,800.
I will go to my
Still
end
considered
stand by.
and send the top 3
Okay.
cards in my deck.
I'm gonna
to
summon
the
Merly
graveyard.
next reader effect.
Mill 3. Just mill 3.
Really?
Yep, got it.
Hayden.
Wolf special summon!
Hayden.
What's up?
So with Zoma,
Yeah.
it's because it's still considered a trap. If I go Heavy Stormbuster and he chains it, it still gets popped, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so. Okay, perfect.
I'll trigger the
There
effect
you go.
of Weiss
Yeah.
to special summon himself.
I only have one wolf.
Okay.
And I think that's
I don't
all
think
I
I'm
can
ready.
do. So Weiss is there.
Okay.
So your
Just
turn.
gonna normal.
Weiss.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I know that character from
Stand by
movie.
me.
Ooh, I also think as part of
I
the
don't, I just know her
resolution-
name.
Backpack
Yeah,
Jack.
I know that character from the
Okay.
game.
Okay.
Three.
That's a
Okay,
normal
backpack
trap.
Jack.
I'll
what
just
do you
keep
do?
going through Weiss's until I find
On
one
my
you know.
turn, you can banish him.
I know that card game.
Doesn't he have something when he goes to the graveyard?
He does. You
Yeah,
can
because
play the
it's
top
only
3
seven
cards
levels.
and
I'll tempt
arrange
back.
them to be activated.
Go for it.
Attack is the-
Here's 800 to the
So do
face.
you have a
Alright.
fire trap in your
I'll take
deck?
it, I guess. I don't want to, but
I'll set a card and pass to you.
alright. I will draw.
Yep.
Oh, it's all
So if in the top 3 cards you have a normal
I think the first thing we're gonna
spell
do
or normal
is Dark
trap,
Hole.
you can put that
Sure.
on top, and then on my turn you can banish him and put it in the
And then I'm gonna
graveyard,
normal
and then put it on the
Tengu.
field.
Sure.
Okay.
Inner battle.
So backpack Jack was
sure.
there.
Swing
And
for
then
17.
He's a quick effect.
I'll attempt Needlebug Nest. Anything in response.
Fire tap.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. I can't believe I milled my one singular wolf.
Yeah.
So 1700.
17's fine, yeah.
That's perfect. 10 out of 10 game design.
Yippee.
So yes,
And then
actions effect.
Steve?
Got me real quick.
Yes. Looking a little thin there.
Stand by. Main phase.
Stand.
Also, if y'all finish your match before I do, just shut that off for me.
Yeah,
You got it. He's reborn.
He can kill
He
Lee.
rises again and
Literally,
again
yeah.
until I run out of copies.
He's got 200 defense.
Yeah, I guess I will do that at least.
Yeah.
She's going to die next turn.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're both on part of the cards. Just
Actually,
whenever we draw, we
trap
draw.
is any normal trap.
It has to be a trap that can be activated in response to an attack.
In
Yeah.
response
So,
to an attack.
Fair Welcome
Trying to
Labyrinth,
run out of
Jelly
card game.
Cannon,
I mean,
Powerball
fucking Tengu,
are
so.
all
We'll do farewell. We'll move farewell.
You mean I have the same Tengu over and over again?
That's a weird thing.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am
You
going
have
to.
so many tickets.
I think they did that. In
I
the
did this
event
last
that
time
they
too.
needed
It's
to search a card that says "Welcome Labyrinth." The
Right.
words "Welcome" and Labyrinth.
it was
are in
it was
order.
certainly a time because we had